next story here about Kaiser Permanente. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this organization, but it's basically a healthcare organization, and their employees have now launched the largest healthcare strike in history. This is huge. We're talking about over 70,000 employees, and the CEO of Kaiser Permanente makes a lot of money. So let's go ahead and get into this new striking news.
Well, right now, negotiators are scrambling to reach a deal and avoid the biggest healthcare strike in U.S. history. At midnight Pacific time, a contract for Kaiser Permanente employees ran out.
Yeah, more than 75,000 workers across the country will strike starting Wednesday if they can't reach a deal. Kaiser Permanente says operations will be continuing as normal this morning, but the clock is ticking. They released a statement just a few hours ago saying they reached tentative agreements in 4 spots, but continue to negotiate. We're going to talk with some union members right now. I want to introduce them. Caroline Lucas, the executive director for the Coalition of Kaiser Permanente Unions, and ultrasound tech Georgette Bradford. So good morning to both of you. Thank you for waking up with us this morning. I want to talk about Kaiser Permanente's statement in a second, but first to you, Georgette. A big part of all this is staffing shortages and what it's doing to healthcare workers and patients. What has it been like?
Thank you for asking that question, Omar. As an ultrasound technologist with Kaiser for nearly 20 years, I've never seen it this bad. For me in the facility, my coworkers are stressed, they're burnt out, leading to injuries. And we're also losing fellow coworkers to the burnout and the heavy workload because of the Kaiser short staffing crisis. But what does this mean to my patients? I do breast imaging. I work in a breast imaging center. And so a lot of my patients are coming in because they feel a lump or because something's been seen on their mammogram. And when they're delayed by weeks to get their exam, the amount of torture and anguish and worry that is inflicted on my patients not only is unacceptable, but I feel it's immoral. And I wouldn't want that to happen to my family member. I wouldn't want it to happen to your family member. And that's something that Kaiser executives can avoid by bargaining in good faith and coming to the table to fix the short staffing crisis.
So Caroline, then lay out for
I guess many of you can imagine, right, that waiting a long time for test results or imaging results can be very nerve-wracking for people.
Us what union workers are asking for. Of course, I'd imagine it would include addressing the staffing shortages, but what else?
Absolutely. What we are worried about is fixing long-term the Kaiser staffing crisis. This has been a crisis that's been brewing for years, and Kaiser executives just aren't acting with the urgency that we need to create some long-term stable solutions to this crisis.
And Georgette, you laid out a little bit of what you had been through, in your more than a decade there. How have things shifted in your time? I know you said you've never seen things this bad. How have they shifted, and what have you heard from other workers, especially we're not that far removed from what I'm sure was an incredible strain on you all during the COVID-19 pandemic?
Yes. What we've seen and what I've seen in the change is a lack of the available staff to see our patients, not only in a timely manner, as I spoke to that one patient that had to wait weeks to get their exam, but also when we get them in the exam room, having to wait minutes, sometimes up to an hour or more just to be seen. I've had patients even leave in the middle of their exams between a mammogram and an ultrasound because the wait was entirely too long.
So we're talking about staffing shortage here, right? Why do companies have a staffing shortage? That's usually because people are quitting, and sometimes people are quitting en masse. So you end up with a staffing shortage. But why are they quitting? Obviously, a lot of times we may have to deal with the hours, the pay, the treatment of the job.
I've dealt with coming in weeks on end where before we even start the day, we're already short-staffed. We're already working in the hole. And that has progressed constantly. It's escalating. It's been compounded by the pandemic. The pandemic has caused our members to leave the industry early retirement, we have lost members. We've lost over 60 members in my union to COVID. And so this is a crisis of a healthcare staffing situation in our facilities.
I lost 3 dentists during the pandemic. 1 retired, 1 moved back to Saudi Arabia, just like peace the fuck out, and apparently didn't tell anybody that he moved until he was there. That was an interesting one. And the other one went back to nursing school. Excuse me, not nursing school. The other one went back to school. It's a nursing school. The one of them went back to school. So I lost 3, like during the pandemic, right? But I think they're being a little bit too mild here. I think they need to be more critical of the nature of the work environment of the CEOs, the nature of the exploitation of the workers. I think they need to be more critical here.
So, Caroline, what do you know about where negotiations stand and how workers are preparing for this strike? Can it be avoided? And if I can go back to ask my first question to you again, if you can lay out what exactly the union is asking for. Again, you're asking for raises and job protections as well, correct?
Absolutely. So let me just say, Kaiser executives can avoid this today by reaching solutions, by reaching long-term solutions. Wages and benefits are an important component of an ultimate agreement that protects staffing levels that make sense for patients and for workers. It's one component, it isn't the only component. What we really need is deep investments in the infrastructure that helps secure our workforce. And that's something that we haven't seen Kaiser act creatively about. Kaiser executives haven't listened or bargained in good faith with the frontline healthcare workers who have the solutions to a lot of these complex, thorny issues.
How are the negotiations going? Do you know? And is a strike avoidable at this point?
Absolutely, a strike is avoidable. No worker goes into healthcare to be out on strike. They all go into healthcare to provide that healthcare to folks. So we are.
These two here, to me, what I noticed from this interview, they were too timid. You know, they like this kind of seemed rehearsed. The woman who's talking right now, I shouldn't have paused her like that.
Hoping that Kaiser executive.
She seems rehearsed to me. She's a little too nice, considering what's been happening to the staff, the employees, right? So I just felt like, I'm like, you guys haven't seen multiple interviews with other union members that have gone on strike. These two right here, I felt were being too nice. Pay attention to that.
Show up and listen and bargain in good faith. We are here day and night. We have been here day and night and will continue to be here until the moment folks walk out Wednesday morning.
And Georgette, we've seen strikes in the auto industry, the entertainment industry, now potentially healthcare here as well. Does that say anything to you as someone who is in a workforce that could potentially be affected? When you see some of the issues they are fighting for, does any of that resonate with you?
It does resonate with me in 2 ways. It resonates with me in that I know that there needs to be a sea change, that it's time for workers to really stand up for not only the communities that they serve, but also the work that they do. It's clear that the frontline workers in any industry are the experts in what they do. And I think that is kind of the genesis of what some are calling a hot union summer with all of this activity.
See, she's smiling too much for me. She just a little too cheesy with the camera. You know, when you talk to the workers on the street, they don't look like this. In fact, let's see what one of the workers that's out on the street, let's see how they respond. I want to show you the difference, okay? I want to show you the difference. This is from More Perfect, a union. This is Shauna White, who is a cardiac monitor tech at Kaiser Permanente. Now, she had a 12-hour shift and she joined her union on the picket line. Listen to, see, I'm gonna show you this, the realness of it. Here we go.
This is amazing. And it's not gonna, this isn't just for us, this is for other hospital workers, other people that they claimed were heroes and that they said, you know, we were going above and beyond and we were what was the term that they gave us for COVID? Frontline workers.
Essential workers.
Yeah, essential workers. And all of a
workers.
sudden, you know, that's all forgotten now. Now it's just like, no, we can't give you an increase. No, even though it shows, we can see on the internet how much they've made and profited. No, you don't deserve any of that. So that's what's really upsetting. They're okay to give the managers their bonuses, which they told them not to tell us about, but they.
Stop it, Bryce. Stop it. And I knew one of you were going to say something. Stop. I knew what I said. Let's see if we can get through this without someone saying, I knew it, Bryce. Stop it. But anyway, what she's saying is they were once considered to be essential workers. And now that the pandemic's over, they're not looked at as essential anymore. They don't want to give them a raise, right? They're not really trying hard to keep them around. So this is something important for people to see.
Told us that they were in a hole and could not give us our bonuses. So that's a lot of the reason why we're here. It's dishonesty, and it's also just the integrity of it all.
Last thing, sorry, because I feel like I was talking over it when we were trying to figure out the name of the health plan, essential workers.
Yes.
Could you just reiterate that point where you said, you know, they called us healthcare workers during the pandemic, and they protect the healthcare workers, protect frontline workers,
yes.
And then go on to explain how they're nowhere to be found when you actually need help.
He's good. Yes. You know, for COVID, we were heroes, we were essential workers, and we were, you know, they were so grateful for us and our help. And now times have changed and they can't remember that we're important and that we're appreciated. So, you know, that's why we're here today. You know, it's not something where it's only a pandemic where we need to be recognized. We work hard every day, every second of the day.
That's right. And by the way, I'm gonna look up that company in just a second, because I remember seeing an interview with the CEO from Kaiser Permanente. This is when they were under some other type of criticism that happened with Kaiser Permanente. This was a couple years ago. No, I felt like something. Hold on, let me look him up. And I'm not looking at the chat no more because I see what you guys are saying. I couldn't even get through the video without laughing. Kaiser Permanente. Yeah, the CEO. I know I saw this guy before in another interview. Because these people, let me tell you something. These people are making bank, okay? Look at this. His name is Gregory Adams. And there's something I want to show you. I want to show you what he's connected to. So we're going to put this up in just a second. Watch this. All right. The CEO of Kaiser Permanente, his name is Gregory Adams. Now let's zoom in. I'm just going to read the first sentence. Okay. Gregory Adams is the chair and chief executive officer of Kaiser Foundation Health Plan, Inc. and hospitals known as Kaiser Permanente, one of America's leading integrated healthcare providers and not-for-profit health plans. I don't even need to read the rest of that because I want you to see what's at the very top of the page. World Economic Forum. World Economic Forum. This is on their site. You see this? So you see who he's associated with. So just to let you see, just wanted to let you know what's happening with Kaiser Permanente. The WEF. So yeah, just keep that in mind. We'll keep an eye on the strike to see how long it goes, to see if they will give them their raise increase that they are recommending. Oh my God, I made a mistake and looked at the chat. You guys are wild tonight. They are recommending. I'm just gonna go ahead and get the laugh out. I can't. Okay, anyway, we'll check that out and see how it goes in the future, because that connection there is sus. but they don't have money to pay their workers. Come on. Come on. Okay.